Ladies and gentlemen, these guys were not featured for a very long time in any of the matches I've been casting, so absolutely fantastic to see them send in some stuff. We've got Ra in the purple, playing as trolls, no doubt actually playing random. I'm gonna go with the chieftain hero. On the other side, someone that's even been gone longer, Aqua Kazam, playing as the orcs, of course his favorite. Using the occultist, also his favorite. Great to see him back. Hoping for more. Now let's get into this. The chieftain is gonna bonk these guys real good. Really quick clear. Quicker than the occultist, who has to stick around in this zone a little longer, but very tiny little difference. We've got a hunting hut, a stonebreaker, a tree chopper, another stonebreaker. Everything's in order, so we should see, I suppose, a second hunting hut at some point, and then another tree chopper. But Ra typically delays that. Sometimes gets the Eye Banner up first. That's exactly what we're seeing, and we've got a little bit of Wargrider harassment here on these workers who are completely defenseless, of course, until the Smasher pops out, and there it is. Turns around to deal with the threat. Meanwhile, the occultist just clears the bottom side. So we've got the horizontal expansion path. It's been a while since I casted a troll game, actually, I'm thinking. Huh. And orcs. Especially against each other. Well, the matchup is all about the orcs getting to tier 2, because on tier 1, against the chieftain, you're not gonna have a very good time. The big bonk attack with the AoE slam here, it does a lot of damage, right? And if you target Scoundrel with that, along with Throw Junk, they're just gonna die. So yeah, you don't really want that, especially if the chieftain can get up to the higher levels of brute force, which very easy to do on Ancient City here. As for the occultist, he's a bit of a tank, so you really want to lean into that. And I like the nullify ability to at least hold some of the orcs still. Getting the much needed pickoffs against this race. But we'll be going on the damage front rather than pumping up Death Resilience. I like Death Resilience here, and I don't think it's as important to go for Blood Sacrifice and Blood Confluence, which is essentially the life leeching skill for the occultist, if you use them together. So maybe a little bit of single target damage as well could be interesting. Putting in Lacerate, which is a very strong bleed for a bunch of seconds, as opposed to the weaker bleed of Blood Sacrifice. But it's actually stronger. There we go. But he does go for Blood Sacrifice and Confluence. Really depends if Ra will present enough targets to make it worth it, because that actually does cost a little bit of health. The occultist does use health to cast abilities rather than mana. Three of the Medusa getting pulled away from him. Occultist does have a bunch of Scoundrel to back him up, but yeah, I think by the time they get here, these Medusas will be pretty weak, so a lot of the experience will be gone as well. The way the experience works, it's shared based on how much damage you did in terms of total available health. Keeping the chieftain still, applying a little bit of bleeding there, and Ra actually ends up exiting, leaving the potion on the ground as well. So the occultist will get to benefit a little bit from the experience, but like I said, it's not last hit. These were already damaged Medusa, and thus they are damaged goods. Looks like the Troll Guard buff has been picked up, and we also are picking up Junk, which will be protecting the chieftain, because that's what Junk does, right? But yeah, in effect, these Smashers have 250 health more, making them harder to kill. And down the path, maybe Ra will go for a little bit of promotion action. with these bottom skills. But depending on how tier 1 like the orcs are playing, I would suggest just go for AoE and damage, because the scoundrel are gonna surround the chieftain by their nature. It's just how they path. Second smashers here should be given troll guard for sure, as you can have a maximum of 2, and then later you can upgrade it to have a maximum of 5. Oh, an early thrower upgrade. Very interesting. Akrakazam does manage to steal one of the Medusa, but I think overall Ra is still the winner of the XP race here. Yeah, as you can see, there's a bit of a discrepancy. Not the bag! Yes, good man. Alright, overall the orcs do get to benefit from this extra base a lot. If the orcs can hold on to it, in fact, that's a lot of extra iron located in just here where you can't see it's over here. The orcs need a lot of that in tier 2, so the tech units are essentially their salvation, but Akrakazam going for a lot of scoundrel, potentially able to deny a bunch of flags, but there goes the Risen Karak. So you still will have an 8-minute uptime there, and by 10 minutes we might see the first of the hunters, which are gonna be the core unit to have in this kind of army. The scrap port has been built for the trolls, but the first scrapper is not yet out on the map, so the tier 1 units, smashers and throwers, will be all the army that Ra will get. This is a lot of extra sectors for Akrakazam. I'd even say he can spend some time getting this one, and potentially spend his gold. Got 6,500, plus he can sell the focus potions, of course. So that's enough to buy the armor, at least. I'm not sure he should buy the weapon just yet. Also, the occultist's weapon is pretty expensive. Reason for that being that you've got Demonic Pact, which will increase your weapon's damage as long as you stay in the area. Scoundrel taking a bit of a hit, but yeah, Akrakazam is doing exactly what I said. He's coming back home. Good opportunity, of course, to go shopping with the merchant. There's no way that the orcs are gonna go after the scouting post. There's too many units that Akrakazam can bring back, and the Godzone connection is extremely practical here.
Good. Our cattle grow stronger.
As I said, we've got the armor.
Shop, all right.
And he didn't bother buying potions just yet, or selling the focus ones. Kazam is back. He doesn't want to attack though. Like, it's kind of not worth it right now trading into this. Ra's hero could do a lot of damage to the scoundrels, so better just not risk it. Wait for tier 2. Get those iron mines up. These frontier posts are coming in after all. Oh, this one is already further along, becoming a fortified outpost. That's where the orc buildings suddenly get quite solid. With the frontier posts just not being as impressive, but yeah, fortified, those are pretty good. I think they have 8,000 health, 7,000. That's pretty good. Really don't want to attack into that with a small army. Hidden camp is done. It's a good spot for it to be as well, next to the heart of the tribe, where you will get a lot of the smashers out of there. Also, for any aspiring troll players, it's very good to directly connect the rally point from the heart of the tribe to the hitting camp, and then you actually send your hitting camp's rally point to your hero, or the Godstone if you have that. Ra does not have a Godstone right now, so the hero would be the target. Of course, you won't immediately have scrap to upgrade all your smashers into skull crushers, so you still have to manage it in the early game quite tightly, but eventually you get there. And as for the orcs, it's all about powering up that iron economy. Like I predicted, around 10 minutes we'll see the first of the hunters. Might be like 10:30ish. But we've got the first bit of iron. Oh, the upgrade hasn't started in time. I see. I see. Well, it's still very acceptable for 11 minutes. Aquakazam did go after all quite wide, so you can't really fault him with this. His float is very reasonable, considering he's saving up for hunters. So that will be immediately gone once this upgrade finishes. I'm sure he's eager to get them. Very peaceful game though, with Ra just chilling here. Usually that's not how it goes. Like the trolls, I would say, enjoy a bit of an advantage in this phase of the game pre-hunters, and then when the hunters come out, they either have already built up a lead and can keep pushing the orcs a little bit, or if the trolls just stick around here, then the number of the hunters can become uncontrollable. Don't want to be in that spot. I also really like the separation of the scoundrel for a little bit of a harassment play. Could go after all these buildings really, or just try to suicide into some tribe shelters in the back. Those are pretty expensive and slow to make, so I like that as a target for sure. Fighting has still not started, almost 12 minutes into the game, but we do have our first hunters. Granted, Ra has built trained a ton of skull crushers. Technically, trolls only train smashers and iron beaks. Iron beaks we don't see as often, but smashers we sure do. Then the smasher becomes all the other units, so you never make a skull crusher, you train a smasher into it. Very cool faction like that, I love that aspect. And all these scoundrels are just getting bonked on the head, trying to fight something 4 times their size. Yeah, what did you expect? To be fair, Aquakazam did need to create some population space as his tier 2 units are now coming in. You see he spent all his iron. And all the hunters that are strolling across the map are gonna add a lot of DPS to his force overall. Still, I wouldn't say it's time to strike, but Ra is of another opinion. He's gonna force it right now. No more waiting. Hit them before the number of hunters becomes uncontrollable. But at the moment the trolls are behind in population, so let's hope this Skullcrusher army can do at least a little bit to equalize the situation. Otherwise Aquakazam will just have a booming economy that cannot be stopped at this point. But do bear in mind the troll workers are more efficient, right? So per base, trolls gain more value. So it's not completely hopeless in this moment. 140 population is also looking pretty good. We've got Demonic Pact on the Occultist, but he is getting weakened right there, and we got a big bonk from the hero as well. Walking out of the Demonic Pact does damage the Occultist. You can see a lot of health missing already. The hunters are going to town now, but the scoundrels have melted away and rise at 122 population to 92. This is definitely the time to push. If he can take down the hunters as well as the scoundrels, which will give him a lot of experience, by the way, which is why he's suddenly level 5. But Aquakazam doing a great job of controlling the hunters, keeping the trolls at least a little bit at bay. A lot of them have fallen too. So mostly scoundrels have died here, with the number of hunters essentially completely unchanged. I think I see 1 hunter corpse there. That's very acceptable. Yeah, like Aquakazam can just remake this group or even make more hunters, and Ra will almost completely rely on that now level 5 hero. He's got his Slam level 2. He's got Troll Guard level 2, which allows him to have 5 Troll Guards. Needs to activate that, of course. And then eventually he'll be able to get some promotions done. Bear in mind, the chieftain does not regenerate focus.
They take care of it. Be not worried.
Has to fight for it. Or more precisely, the guards have to be fighting. Of course, you can chug potions, but you got no innate regeneration. Your focus rings don't do anything. But alright, let's see. Skullcrusher's 130 damage now. Going in there, the occultist is not going to be able to last too long here, even with Death Resilience level 2. He doesn't have level 3. And that's a lot of splash damage coming through from the Skullcrushers, who can attack 2 targets to begin with here. Eliminating most of the hunters there. The hero is still at full health, bonking several at the same time. Those were scoundrel, however, not hunters, but still Akrokazam's army has evaporated. He has a lot more scoundrel on the way though from all over the map, and adding a bunch of brutes and hunters is also nice. But Ra remains in an advantage here for the moment. Still would like to see him pull back and heal up. I think he could use it, and maybe add a bunch of wall breakers so that the Skullcrushers aren't completely on their own in terms of attacking buildings, or trying to. Cultist will be getting away, chugging some potions, but yeah, that's expensive. He doesn't have any more, in fact. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing any... Oh, a wall breaker has been queued up. So Ra is now, in fact, thinking about taking down one of these bases. If you can get out like 2 of these wall breakers, say bye-bye to this base for sure. Although half of the iron has been almost gathered. Pretty big deal. First wall breaker. Big bonk boy. And should see another big engagement. I don't think Akrokazam has attack move, but he does react in time, so all good. Just a regular move order. He's getting bonked very hard. Lots of weakening from the throwers and other stuff. Also creating some splash damage, of course. Ra ends up having to teleport out as he's starting to lose his units, but he created massive losses for Aqua as well. However, they were all scoundrel once again. Very replaceable. Got the first hack scam. This is a strong heart of the tribe, by the way, and all these sectors have got an upgrade as well. Sharp eyes of the tribe all over the place, meaning that Ra will have a good economy down the line. With a bunch more workers still missing, by the way. This scrap hoard, not of too much use. Oh well, there is actually scrap here, I forgot. And here come the orcs attacking one of the sharp eyes. Ra doesn't have his teleport ready. Oh boy, he's letting it die. That could be very problematic indeed as the orcs take this down. Once these buildings get destroyed, this base will swoop up all the resources from the destroyed buildings. So everything that was queued ends up in the bank. And part of the building's cost ends up on the ground as well. So this is gonna be... Oh, denied, actually. It's gonna be denied. Ra can save a lot of his stuff. Not too bad then. He's ready to go max population, so it's just a matter of actually making the units now. Overmade the buildings a little bit in the main, so some could be recycled. And with Akrokazam having returned home, his army is now out of position, but coming through the... Did he just teleport onto the base? Oh man, he's taking so much splash damage. The Skullcrushers are completely surrounding this base. And the wall breakers have almost taken down the entire thing. They are attacking the occultist for whatever reason now. That's not gonna work, so Ra, I think, is fixing it. Or is he? Love his army is toast, but so is Akrakazam's. But he has some hunters in the back still standing strong and attacking. So long as that's the case, he has a chance. This is gonna be a very tight one. Border Fortress is getting nuked, however, by some focus fire. Ra, this has cost him very dearly, however, overall. Attacking the occultist almost never a good idea, especially once he has Death Resilience level 3. Oh my goodness. That is a 75% armor increase when that's on. So occultist at low health is misleadingly tanky. I'm not sure that Ra can get his stuff together anymore. Although, if he can get out a bunch of Flesh Eaters and Bone Hexers, that could work. I don't like that he's trying to upgrade Bone Hexers right now. Should just focus on the Flesh Eaters. They're already powerful enough. I mean, look at these Hunters and Brutes. Common pattern is that everything for orcs has bad magic resistance. Some exceptions, of course, but these guys certainly aren't it. So yeah, Flesh Eaters would be sufficient to fight back. In fact, it would be preferable to Skull Crushers. So you don't need to focus as much on your scrap that way, but just focus on your offerings, and that should work out pretty well. We've got some Shamans now. They are the opposite. They have magical resist, but they don't have the other stuff. So good of Akrakazam to recognize an opportunity there. Adding all these brutes will also allow him to actually siege. Quickly upgrading these bases, making them more resistant to a counterattack. Got the first Flesh Eaters, they're stinky, which will create an aura that enfeebles enemies. That's the one that weakens attacks. Cool, this aura has been picked up. It will reserve some health, but create an also very stinky aura. Makes you bleed, slows you down. Is the Scrapper gonna actually sneak this? Love it. That's 10 out of 10, mate. There is this base, if Ra ever felt like going for it, you know? Anyway, Akrakazam is focused on this right now. This is actually happening. He's sneaking the the Scrapper. Crazy. This army is too big. Surely the trolls can't handle it, right? Ooh, big bonk, however, from the chieftain. Causing everybody to bleed. There's still a good amount of scoundrel in there. And maybe with all these magic users, the Flesh Eaters, it's possible that that Ra can hold us back for at least a little bit. But I think the chieftain is just gonna get sniped. After his near invulnerability from that ability, he just loses all his armor essentially. And another base for Ra goes down. I think this is probably gonna be it. The Orc tide is too strong. The momentum has been established. And when that's the case, they just keep pumping. And you never stop them. So, yeah, maybe better luck next time, Ra. Maybe you don't get trolls. He always gets trolls when he plays random. It's messed up, man. But good to see Akrakazam back and winning. Great job with that. And kept the trolls at bay very nicely early on. Forced them into a corner. And they never really got to expand too much. Just a little bit of poking and prodding. But Akrakazam just staying strong and getting it all done. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.